let's have a hard-hitting conversation about illness, sickness, viruses, all the nasty crap no one wants to talk about. But if I'm a health expert, if you want to be healthy, we also have to talk about the illness side of things so that you can get yourself to healthy and away from illness. There is a lot of fear out there, especially generated by the last virus we had in 2020. How much fear was produced around that virus, which still to this day I don't understand. As a paramedic and seeing people deal with viruses constantly, that one is no different to some of the viruses I've seen in the past, other than the fear put behind it. And I know I'm going to step on a few people's toes, and I'm sorry, but I do really want to talk about this sort of stuff with you guys. So if there is fear put behind a virus, obviously it's scary to get that virus because they've told you that if you catch a virus, this specific virus, COVID, you might die. But have we not had deaths also from influenza A, the common flu, pneumonia, the common cold turning into sepsis, SARS, bird flu? We've had so many viruses in the past that have done exactly the same thing. Now, if we look at COVID and we look at these past viruses, the only commonality of why it would kill the host, because the host already has health complications pre-virus. That's in any situation you look at in all the studies, that's what usually happens. So we can't fear viruses because they're always going to come at us. And if you think COVID's the worst one, there's probably way more coming, if I'm to be honest, because look at the life we are starting to move into. Look where we're heading. Genetically modified meat. I mean, that's what's coming, apparently. AI, artificial intelligence. Viruses are going to morph, change, disturb, get destructed, get modified, and things are going to get worse. So instead of looking at like, holy shit, the viruses are going to get bad, I look at it like, how can I stop and attack these viruses before they even come into my host? So a good analogy of that is if I let a mosquito go in your room that was all closed up and you're laying in bed ready to go to sleep, and you're like, oh no, I can hear a mosquito. Oh, well, and you turn your light off, you can go to sleep and it bites you once, and you're like, oh damn it, that mosquito got me. Oh. You fall back to sleep, and then there's a good chance that mosquito might keep biting you all throughout the night, and then you wake up the next morning, you're covered in mosquito bites. So in that case, the mosquito attacked you, and you did nothing about attacking that mosquito back. So of course, it took control of you and control of the situation. Now let's spin that around. You're laying in bed, you hear a mosquito, and you're like, oh, hell nah. You turn the light on and you are going to kill that mosquito before it even bites you once. So you scan that room and you're like, there you are, ready to die. And you attack the mosquito before it attacks you. That is what health is. That is putting in every single day tools so that you are ready for when something does come at you. So that your body is strong and able and resilient every single day of the year, so that when there is a virus come in, and don't get me wrong, everyone is going to get one because that's just what happens. When one does come in though, this host is so strong that maybe the mosquito bites once and not multiple times. Does that make sense? Maybe the virus attacks us for a couple of days, but we're strong enough and resilient enough and have put in the work behind the scenes so that it won't affect us as much as someone who just lets that mosquito attack them every single night because they're not doing anything about it. So I never want you to fear illness, sickness, viruses. I wouldn't even look at that. I don't even consider getting unwell. I consider what can I do every single day to build up my resilience, to build up my army. Because I want to attack the shit out of anything that's going to try and attack me, virus-wise and human-wise. if that's the case. But what can I do right now, in this moment, in this day? Add into my health account. What can I do every single day? That is health. That is prioritizing health for the moments when you are unwell. And in those moments that you are unwell, you know that you're resilient enough to become well again. There should be no fear in that loop. Now, within that loop, I also don't want to have to rely on external sources to make me better and feel better. Let's look at back in the 1800s when there was a mum with 4 kids living in a shack in rural Australia and the husband was out for months at a time mustering. I don't know why that came into my head, but it could be anywhere in any part of the world. And if that mum, son or daughter got sick, it would take her 4 days on horseback to ride to the next, the closest doctor. That wasn't an option. So literally you had to just deal with what you had at that time. And most of the time it was a washer over the head to try and bring the fever down. The body knows what it's doing. It is resilient and strong enough to deal with our common colds and viruses and symptoms and flus. That's why we get a fever, because it's trying to kill things off. That's why we get fatigued, because we need rest. If we learn to listen deeply to what our body is trying to tell us, then we also learn to heal way faster, because we know exactly what this needs at any given time. That's where there is a disconnection. If you have to rely on someone else or something else or taking something in to make you better, then there's a disconnect there from what your body is actually trying to tell you in the first place. So every time that you rely on taking something in or, boosting something or doing this, those things you are taking in, your body also has to deal with. Think of your lymphatic system that I go on about all the time. That is constantly dealing with toxins. Now, whether that's antibiotics you take, that is still toxins coming into your body. Yes, it may kill the one cell or the bad virus that's just here, but it also kills all the other cells around it. So sometimes 100% we need that. I'm not saying we don't. Listen, I was a paramedic. We need that medical system, but we also need our own resilience and our own health understanding and our own health ownership every single day when we're not sick, to understand that when we do get sick, we've got it in the bag. We're strong enough. Our cells are strong because I've put the work in every single day. And I know, yes, I may have a week of feeling crappy, but I've got it. I've built my army to attack that cell itself. And now I can just go with all of my tools in my belt and my trade that I have to help also attack this. Now, what are those tools? That is what I've been giving you forever and a day since I started my line of work. I've written ebooks on this stuff. What you can do for your health, your brain health, your mindset, your movement, your hot-cold therapy, your neural therapy, your sunshine, your grounding, all of the tools is what's going to help you build your resilience and build your army every single day. So don't ever fear the thing attacking you. That thing should fear you attacking it, because this is so solid, strong, and you've built your army every single day that you're not sick, waiting for the day that it wants to come and try and make you sick, and you're like, pew! That's how I look at health and wellness. There's no fear. You bring it on, baby. You bring it on, because I'm going to punch it down. I'm going to attack that thing so hard and is not getting through my system because of the work I do every day. So maybe look at health and illness that way instead of, oh no, we've got a new strain coming. What can I do to protect myself? What tablet can I take to protect myself? It's not about you. If you're sick and you haven't put any work in, if you've got a mosquito in your room every single night, guess what? You're going to get, what's it called? Ross River fever? That's it. You're going to get Ross River fever because you're allowing that thing to attack you every single night. Remember I said, the first night you hear it buzzing, you kill it. You're not going to get Ross River fever, are you? Because you put the work in. So therefore, if a virus comes, okay, I'll stop talking. Just so passionate about this stuff because honestly, all I want for you is you to understand the power that you have resigning inside of here and here. And I also want you to thrive in every bone that you have. Because that's where you can get to with your health, wellness, and vitality, is just going, oh my gosh, how good is this thing? How resilient is this thing? How strong is this thing? How powerful is this thing? How knowledgeable is this thing? How is every cell in my body humming and vibrating and trying to keep me safe from everything out there? That's what I want. I want you to thrive in your skin. And to do that, we have to understand and take ownership of our health and well-being. Every single day, every single second, every single choice throughout the day, and not just wait till it starts attacking us like that mosquito.